Welcome to the IfMagic equation tutorial. Equations are sets of logical instructions that run directly on the device. In this tutorial, we're going to write an equation that when a button's pressed, it turns on a light. Pretty basic one to start out with. We already have our hardware set up. We have a device with a button module and a glow module. To see how the device is set up, you can watch our quick start guide. You will also need an IfMagic account in order to create and save equations. To do this, we'll open up the IfMagic app, tap the Bond menu in the top left-hand corner. You'll see the Connect menu. We're then going to swipe to the right, and you'll see a Sign In or Sign Up button. Tap on either one, enter your username and password, and you're good to go. From there, we'll tap the Bond button again, which will close the menu. You'll now see a screen that says Equations Create. This view will show you all your equations that you have saved to your account. In order to create your first one, we're going to tap Create, which will show you the equation creation menu. You'll see the name of the equation as well as a blue plus icon. We'll tap on the blue plus icon, which shows 4 buttons: Logic, Inputs, Outputs, and Sequences. We'll tap on Logic. You'll now see 3 buttons which say, when this happens, and this happens, or this happens. We'll tap on when this happens. And this happens and or this happens we'll go over in later videos. So our equation sentence reads, when this happens, do this. In our case, we want to have when a button's pressed, turn on a light. So we'll tap on this happens, which shows our input screen. We have discrete inputs and compares. In our case, we want to use a discrete input, which is when one thing happens or another thing happens. So that could be when a button's pressed, when you have motion or stillness, when a gesture is left or right. So we'll tap on button, and it now says button pressed or not pressed. So for the first part, we'll click pressed, and one of the most important steps is to make sure we have the correct port set for the module that we're using. To do this, we'll tap on the bottom left hardware select icon, and we'll now say port 1. We'll tap 1, go to 7. Since the button is on port 7, click set hardware, and then click add. So our sentence now reads, when button is pressed, do this. Now to do this, we want to turn on a light. So I'll tap do this, which shows our outputs menu. I'll tap glow, since we're using a glow module. And now I'll set the color to be an IfMagic purple. So I'll set the color of the glow module. And again, remember to set which port you're using. Since the glow module is in port 2, I'll click 1, scroll down to 2, tap set, click set hardware, and then click add output. So now our equation sentence reads, when button is pressed, set glow to purple color. Now if I were to run this equation right now, when I tap the button, the glow module would turn purple, but it would stay on, since we need the inverse of this. It's the exact same process, just reversed. So I'll tap the plus icon, logic, when this happens, tap this happens, button, not pressed. Make sure to select the correct port. So again, port 7 for the button, set hardware, add, and do this, tap glow again, but this time we're going to turn off the glow module, which means setting the brightness all the way to 0. Again, hardware, icon, port, set it to 2, set hardware, add output, and now we have our completed sentence, which is when button is pressed, set glow to purple color, and when button is not pressed, turn glow to off. So now to get this equation onto the device, we need to cast it. So I'll click Create, which also saves the equation to your account. We'll then see our cast screen. We'll click Scan to find the hardware that we're using, tap Add, and then from there, click Cast, which will send the equation over to the device. So now, when I press the button, the glow module will turn on purple, and when I don't press the button, it will turn off, like so. The possibilities of equations are endless, and we can't wait to see what you create.